Hey, 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 it's your girl Go Queen with the Q Chat podcast. Thank you for tuning in to our latest episode. Before we get started, I want to give you some information on how you can grab some Q Chat merchandise. Go to www.goqueen.com and there you can purchase any Q Chat merchandise or any of my Go Love Yourself tees. So go ahead, take a look at the website and feel free to grab some merchandise today. There's something else I want to fill you guys in on. If you haven't heard, Anchor is the hottest and easiest way to make a podcast. It's the best price in the world, free. So go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And just remember, Anchor distributes your podcast to all streaming platforms. It's super simple. So go ahead and sit back and get ready to listen to the next episode of the Q Chat. But don't forget, go to www.goqueen.com and grab some merchandise. Thank you for tuning in and get ready to listen in. Go Queen! Hey, so we're recording a special episode of the Q Chat. I thought it was really important because obviously everyone's dealing with this whole coronavirus situation. You know, everyone's in quarantine, or at least they should be practicing it. But I know like a lot of people I know are dealing with some anxiety issues. I've actually read some posts from a few friends. I've had people do check-ins. So we thought it was a good idea to just go ahead and just record a little special episode. It's going to be very brief, but I just wanted to get with my friend Alicia so we can kind of talk about how's everyone dealing? Like, how are you guys feeling? So we just wanted to have a conversation, and we're not going to do this too long because I definitely still want to keep things positive. But I just wanted to do like a special Q Chat to just check in with everyone. So Alicia, I know me and you have definitely talked this week just about anxiety in general with this whole situation. So have you experienced any anxiety due to this whole COVID-19 situation?
I personally haven't, but I feel like that's because I'm already in a work from home basis. So my entire world wasn't really flipped upside down by this. The only thing that it really affects me is because I only live in a one bedroom, my workstation is out in the open in my living room. And at night, normally I go out, I hang with friends to kind of get away from that space. And I haven't been able to do that. But ultimately, I feel like I've been very fortunate that I do get to work from home because a lot of people, you know, they're losing their jobs and they don't have that luxury. Or people that do have that luxury and they want to pull their hair out because they're not used to it. I feel like it all just happens so quickly that this all makes sense as why everybody is feeling the way that they're feeling, you know?
Have you, like, I know you just mentioned, you know, just being able to get out with your friends. Has that really had a huge impact on you right now? You're really feeling the repercussions of basically not being able to socialize, you know, because of the whole social interaction. You know, obviously we got to limit that. So have you felt any repercussions for that just yet? Like, has it really hit you?
I don't think it's hit me fully yet. I have a feeling within the next week it will. But I've also been really trying to, like, you know, like I text you often. I try to keep my mind busy. But I also will Skype with friends so that it almost feels like I'm with them. But for the most part, I've been okay. The only really downfall that I've really been acknowledging is I don't have like a balcony or a porch or anything. So anytime I want to go outside, I have to literally touch all the railings and the doors to get outside and just to even walk my dog. So that kind of makes me a little paranoid because I live in a big building with a bunch of different people.
Alicia, for anyone that tunes in, I don't think we've ever mentioned where you live, because I always mention I'm like in the North Shore in Louisiana. So can you please tell people where you live at first so they can get a better understanding of you saying you have a porch?
Sure. So I live in New York, not New York City. I do live in upstate, but I still live in a city. So I live in Rochester. And actually, a lot of the houses in Rochester are rentable. And what they do is they take the older, like, rustic buildings and they renovate everything so that there's still multiple people living within those homes. But I do not live in a place that has that luxury.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I have to literally like go out and touch so many different things that everybody's already touched, which makes me super paranoid because like even taking out my garbage, the garbage handle's always, it's just, it makes me cringy to begin with. But I wish they almost just left the door open so I could throw my garbage and run, because I trust myself to be clean, but I'm not trusting the people around me to be clean. Just
Mm.
there's so many different opinions as far as what this how severe this is, that's what makes me nervous. But it's tough because you still need to get that fresh air.
Right, but I definitely wanted to throw on your location for people that may be listening, because Southerners, we don't know what it is to like not have a porch or be able to go outside or things like that. So I just wanted to throw in that little
Yeah.
tidbit for in case anyone's like, "Wait a minute, what?" But I mean, for me personally, because obviously I run a small business from home, so I am generally at home anyway. But
Mhm.
recently, like at first, I was just like, okay, I'm already like a extroverted introvert anyway. So at first, I kind of wasn't really taking it. I'm not saying I didn't think staying at home as much as I've been staying at home would get under my skin, because I
Mhm.
am primarily at home anyway.
Mhm.
So I was just like, oh, well, it won't be a big thing. I'm always at home, blah, blah, blah. But then I think it's kind of like a control thing, because I'm like,
Exactly.
that's
Mhm.
what's bothered me, because I'm like, wow, like I technically really can't do anything. And then, like I said, like I mentioned in the previous on the go current events episode with Courtney, like I have asthma, so it started to really dawn on me like this is for me, like I'm already a germaphobe as it is. My
Mhm.
asthma is so severe to the point, if I go anywhere and if someone's like smoking anywhere in the vicinity, they don't even have to be extremely close to me. It sends me to the point where I have to use my inhaler. That's how sensitive my
Yeah.
breathing. So that's already something that I deal with on a regular basis. I'm a huge texter, and one of the reasons I'm a huge texter is, even though obviously I run my mouth on the podcast, but a lot of times I have to catch my breath just to talk to people. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so this has like hit me on that level, because I'm really at the point where I've had to kind of take some social media breaks, because unfortunately some of my friends, if I run across one more political post about Trump or something, I think I'm going to scream, or I'm going to lash out and say something offensive. Like, I don't want to read this. I don't want to scroll past it. It's like we get the point. I don't know if some people feel like they're helping when they post some of that stuff, but it's just
Mhm.
like, it doesn't help me personally. And that
It's
kind of
too
triggers,
much right now because there's too
because
many
we
things
already
going
know
on.
some of the facts. This is already a situation where we have no control. So it's just like, I'm just, for me and mine, I just need humor. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to like see something funny or just something to get my mind off of something. I just, you
Yeah.
know, some of the Facebook reporters, air quotes, are like driving me insane. Like, I'm sick of it. That's why like even on the Q chat, my page, my Instagram, like I'm trying to invoke some humor. If I'm not talking about something podcast related, I'm trying to invoke some humor or something. Like, that's all I want right now. Like, I don't want to hear all this extra stuff. Like, it has really bothered me. And especially, I am from Louisiana. I live in Slidell, but I'm like 45 to 30 minutes away from New Orleans, and New Orleans has been hit horribly with this
Mhm.
virus. Like, they keep reporting deaths. They actually just reported a death in the city I live in. So it's like, I just want to de-stress, and I kind
Mhm.
of feel like there's triggers that would make a person's anxiety really bad. So, for me,
Yeah.
trying to I don't know. I'm trying to distract myself as best as I can. I've had to leave my house on certain occasions naturally. I mean, I have kids. Like today, I had to go get some water, basics, and
Mhm.
stock up on some other things, because I have had anxiety to the point where I'm like panic mode of, oh my God, what if they do like the 2 week lockdown? Like, okay, I have kids that need to eat. So, like, just practical things have triggered my anxiety, stuff like that. But I know like a lot of people are coping with this. So that's why,
Yeah.
like I said, I just felt it was important to just have a candid conversation, because, I think some people, it's hard to discuss anxiety sometimes, but it's real.
Mhm.
And this is a situation where we really don't have any control over it. So that's why I definitely wanted to do this. Do you have any? So I know you said like you're kind of feeling it. What would you have for some suggestions basically for someone that's listening and they are having some anxiety issues, some
Mhm.
coping mechanisms to just kind of like get your mind off of this if it's even possible, but to lower your stress level, I guess is a better way to put it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think it's really important to point out that, when people that have depression or anxiety or any mental health issue, those are the only two I can personally relate to. So I'll use those as an example.
Mhm.
You rely on getting that fresh breath of air and going for that walk to keep your mental sanity. So if you're being thrown into a situation in a matter of less than 2 weeks, nobody is expecting you to be a rock star. Everybody is going through this together, which is a wonderful thing that we all know how each other feels right now. But it's especially more difficult for those with anxiety and depression because that escape that they used to get, they don't have that anymore. So I think it's important to just cut yourself a break, understand that this was thrown upon you, you don't have an option, and now you're just going to have to find different ways to recope. As far as me, I like to leave my windows open so I still get the fresh air. I just don't go outside as much. It is okay to go outside as long as you're within 6 feet of people. But for me, things that calm me are essential oils, taking a bath, like if you have Epsom salts, things like that. Even tea tends to help me. And then meditating. I used to get like so distracted when I used to meditate, but since my panic attacks and my anxiety has kind of skyrocketed, it actually works for me now. So you'll find things that do work for you and don't work for you, but if you find at least one thing that does work for you, I say take off with it, or and just find some hobbies to do around the house that you normally would do if you had the time. Well, now you have the time, so try to throw yourself into that. You know what I mean?
I agree. I'm a big person as far as taking hot baths. Like I literally, it helps my stress level. Like I'll take a bath sometimes in hot water for like at minimum an hour,
Mhm.
sometimes longer.
Yeah.
Um,
Pruny.
like, but it really, and I have been told I have extremely soft skin, probably because it's always soaking in liquids. But
Right.
it it's like for me, like literally taking a bath is a distressor for me. Like
Mhm.
if I'm having if my anxiety's starting to get crazy or whatever, which of course I do have that luxury because same like you, I'm primarily in my home in my house working. I
Mhm.
can say, okay, I'm gonna take a bath, because it stresses me. I bought 3 bottles of cheap wine the other day just to have on like standby, like my emergency wine. You
Mhm.
know, definitely like before we even recorded, I spent some time outside in the sunlight, just to get that energy from the sun, just to sit in my backyard to smell the grass. Like my grass was cut yesterday. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna sit outside in my yard, get some sunlight just to get some level of peace. I've definitely watched a ton of freaking shows. Like my Fire Stick is like my best buddy right now because all day long I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I'll watch this, I'll watch that. I haven't joined like a little Netflix group on Facebook weeks ago, but because of what's going on now, like they're forever posting it, even in a good way. Like they always have like little suggestions. Even little movie watch parties they did. It's the it's the Black Netflix group, which is funny, and it's not like we just talk about Black movies, but it's cute. You know what I'm saying? So like I love
Yeah.
that little group. Um, I also joined the crafters group. Whatever it takes to take your mind off
Mhm.
this, I definitely suggest it. I do really want to stress to definitely do the social distancing. Like I've had a lot of people been posting stories of people that's kind of not taking heed to that. It's for everyone's safety. Even if you are out and you think you're not going to catch it, who knows? You could be a carrier and you can bring
Mhm.
that to someone. And I've said this before in a previous podcast. Just please just take heed to what they're saying. Like, this is serious. This is a pandemic, and no one else should have to suffer
Mm-hmm.
because some of us can't just follow the rules. I understand, like, a lot of us have to leave for essentials. That's totally different. But,
But don't go to
like,
spring break.
right, like, Florida is packed right now. And I'm like, are
Right.
you kidding me? And Florida is one of my favorite places, but I'm just shocked. I'm really shocked that I saw someone the other day, they posted, oh, well, if I die, I die. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's just
Oh,
not the attitude to have. And I'm sure they're saying that, but I doubt highly they think that they could really die from it.
you
That's
know what
probably why
though?
they're
Let me just point something out. If somebody is saying that, that to me tells me that they already have some sort of mental health issue thing already going on. So
right.
when people say those things to me, I try to kind of turn it on them and say, okay, that's fine if you die, but what if your grandparent or your parent were to? And then it hits them differently because then it's like, oh, but I care about them. I just don't care about myself, which is fucked up. But
Ugh.
they look at it differently. Like I was
It's a
talking
slap
to
to the
my
face.
yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine who does live in New York City this morning, and I mean, they're on total freaking lockdown, but it's difficult because in New York City, you don't have grocery stores like you do other places. There's
Mm,
not aisles and aisles of food that's just readily available. They go to bodegas or they go to like little shops to pick things up on their way home because they don't use cars. They don't have that luxury. So
right.
I guess what I'm saying is be grateful for the things that you do have because there are people that live in areas of the world that I mean, they're pretty much screwed right now. I know
Right.
she
They're
had to go,
completely isolated.
yeah, she had to go grocery shopping for her parents who are in their 80s, and she could not even find food. She couldn't
Oh my.
find something that you need to survive. And then when she had to bring them what she could find, she had to leave it outside their door because she can't even go visit her own parents.
Right, because she doesn't, and that's hitting me hard. Like I said, my father is 81 years old. My mom is in her late 70s.
Mhm.
And they live in New Orleans. Okay, so that's another thing that has had my anxiety through the roof all fucking week because I'm like, what if something happens to them?
Mhm.
And it bothers the hell out of me. I'm not gonna lie, like, it has my anxiety fucked up. Okay, so
Mhm.
I mean, because at the end of the day, I mean, we can sit there and ignore this all we want to or try to distract ourselves. But, some of us do have elderly parents, we have kids, just the fact that how, like, my son, the graduation is probably not going to happen. I'm just being realistic. I don't see this being
Mhm.
resolved that quickly. Let's just be optimistic and say, oh, well, maybe by like July. I mean, it's just not going to be the same. Like, I just feel like his senior year is totally tossed out the window, like, because there was no other option.
Right.
And it hurts. I mean, it does. Like, I had someone tell me the other day, well, it's the whole world. I don't really want to hear that shit. It's just like, I don't,
Mm.
that doesn't make it any better. And that's another thing, too. I feel like that's why I made my little post early. I wanted to post something funny. That whole Cardi B thing, coronavirus, I think it's so funny. Like, every time I see it, I die laughing. So I was like, well, let me post it. But I also brought in the caption, whatever it takes to de-stress. If you need to ignore certain friends right now, ignore their asses. Okay, set their asses to fucking ignore. Do it. If social media is driving you, because I know Facebook, which I've said in the past, I'm not a huge fan of Facebook. Like, I kind of can't stand it. The only reason I'm on it is because, like, I have a sibling, he doesn't live out here, so that's like one of the ways we communicate, whatever. But a lot of the posts that I'm seeing, I'm like, here we go with some more bullshit. Here go these fake fucking reporters. As if, if I want to see some political posts, I can easily tune into CNN. I don't need some of y'all to repost some shit. I don't understand the goal in that. Like, I just, like I said, it just bothers me personally. I just hate when people do that. Lately, like, I have some of my friends, they've been posting a lot of lighthearted stuff, and they've been posting like little games. Like, I play like two corny games on Facebook today, which I normally never do. I'm normally like the little snob that's like, this is so stupid and immature. Like, why are you posting something saying, "Oh, name a vegetable on the last initial of your, the first initial of your last name"? I'm normally like, give me a fucking break. We too grown for this. Today I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
apple, aardvark, Alaska, because I was like, I need to distress, so I'm gonna play some of these
Aardvark.
corny ass games for real. Because I was like, they said name something that you can describe a person. I was like, okay, asshole. I'll, you know, because I was like,
Asshole.
for real, because like I have to get my mind off this. So I'm like, sure, I'll play it today. Why not? Because it's better than me reading some of these little fake reporters. Are just some people that someone posted some shit today too about some of the theories of what started this. I was like, oh my God, like please stop. I just
Yeah.
remove me off your friends list, because like I just don't want to hear it. If it's something funny, I'm all for it. I'm like the corniest person as far as jokes. Like I have some friends, that's all they do all day. They'll tag me on something really silly, or they'll inbox it to me. Keep that coming, because I love that type of shit. Like it makes me laugh. But other than that, like I said, I'm extremely stressed about my parents more than anything. And it bothers me every day. I'm just like, okay, my two elderly parents are sitting there alone. And then I thought about it, well, if they do like the 24-hour lockdown for like 2 weeks, maybe I should tell them to come here, because we live like 45 minutes apart. And then my daughter made a point. She's like, well, because one of my kids has been out here and there for other reasons, because he's a little rap star. So he's been going little places, even though he's not in like groups of 10 or whatever. Still in all, it's still a slight risk, because it does kind of bother me when he does do certain things. I'm always like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
make sure you wash your hands while you're out. Didn't you have sanitizer in your car? Make sure no one coughs near you when you come home. Like when he
Mm-hmm.
comes in the
Yeah.
house, like get in the shower immediately. Which he's a very clean person, thank God. He's actually the cleanest of all my kids. Like you can literally eat off the floor in his room. But I'm like, the minute he comes in, I'm like, get in the shower ASAP. Go wash your clothes. Because I'm like, I don't want to. So she brought up that point. She's like, well, even if you had him come here, like that could be a risk. And it's true. So that has bothered me more than I can even articulate right now. So,
Right.
like I'm saying, there's no shame in having anxiety, or admitting it. I've made several posts. I'm like, if you need someone to talk to, please reach out to one of your friends, whatever, one of your
Mm-hmm.
just social media friends, whatever. But I just definitely want to encourage people to talk, like just talk privately, because anxiety and depression is a true thing. And this having no control and just having this unknown, we don't know how long this is going to last. A lot of people, they're being affected financially by this. I mean, I know a ton of people that do small businesses. It's just like a weird time period, or just
Mm-hmm.
being worried about your loved ones, or something as simple as like I had to go to the grocery store today. Like I needed water, basic stuff like that. Or of course the whole finding toilet tissue.
Yeah.
Like finding fucking Nemo. Like I paid like almost $20 for 8 rolls of toilet tissue yesterday. I'm
What?
like, fuck. Yes. I went to Walgreens, and this is a transparent statement. I contacted my doctor the day, because I was like freaking the fuck out. My anxiety was high. I'm like, look, I need you to prescribe me something. So
Yeah.
they did it. I haven't taken it yet, because I'm like, I don't really, because of course, after I got the prescription, I'm like, what are the side effects? Because I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, but I have it on
Whatever those
standby.
side effects are, it's better than Corona.
Right. But I have the meds on standby just in case my anxiety just gets overwhelming. So
Mm-hmm.
I went to go pick up the meds yesterday. I'm in the drive-through line at Walgreens, and so she gets me the meds or whatever. And then I thought to myself, I was like, do you know if y'all have toilet tissue in there? Which I never thought I would be asking a pharmacist about toilet tissue.
I
And
know.
she's like, I'll go check for you. So she comes back. She's like, well, I have these two right here. I was like, sure, I'll get them. So I can only imagine what the car behind me was thinking. Like, why the fuck is this woman
Right.
handing her toilet tissue through the little thing? So when I get it, she rings up the total. I'm like, why is this shit almost $20? It wasn't even like the big old huge thing.
Just tell your son, get in the shower every time you take a
But
shit.
but it's gonna have to come to that if we can't get any more toilet tissue anyway. Because I'm like sitting there thinking to myself, I'm good if we never get any toilet tissue. I have very good hygiene, but I'm like, I'm gonna have to explain to 11-year-old, okay, if we don't get any toilet tissue, like how I'm supposed to explain that to an 11-year-old kid? Like, okay, you need to put your
Yeah.
ass in a tub.
Right. Soak it
Yeah,
off.
right. At least he can shake off his tools when he does number one. But I'm like,
Right.
okay, so let me give you guys a lesson in homeschooling on shit break 101 when there's no toilet tissue. like, like I can see this happening, so I'm gonna have to FaceTime my kids from their rooms. Like, okay, this is what happens. Let me explain to you guys the importance of hygiene and just taking a fucking bath, after
Right.
you take a shit. Cause I'm like saying to myself, I don't know if we're gonna be able to land any more toilet tissue because it's crazy where I live at.
Yeah.
So, and
Which
of course, all across the
actually,
world.
which brings up a good point that I want to share with everybody. At least in my area, I'm not sure about where you live, but Instacart is now taking as many orders as they can, just because
Hmm.
you go to the store and you have a wait of 10 people in the store at a time, so everybody's
Yeah.
waiting outside. To avoid that, do Instacart, but make sure you book it days in advance, because it went from having like a 2-hour wait to like, I think it took me 3 days to get my groceries. So even if you don't need groceries right now, do it ahead of time. That way by the time you're out, it's being delivered.
I'm gonna have to look into that because, like I was mentioning, in my previous recording, I always do my groceries Walmart delivery, and they canceled the order because they said they had operational issues.
Yeah.
And I looked at the app yesterday too, and they said they're not going to have any availability for like 7 days. And I'm like, and I know like out here the Walmarts are open, but I'm like, wouldn't it be safer to do
Yeah.
the delivery at this point instead of going in the store? So
Yeah. I feel
this is
like it
just a weird
is.
period.
I
I
think it
think it
cost
would
me
be way safer.
$4.
It's just a weird time period for sure, but I stocked up on a lot of basics. I went and grabbed a ton of tuna fish today, even though of
Yeah.
course the store didn't have any bread. So
Right.
tuna salad, but just to be practical, I was gonna get like a ton of beans too. Like I'm talking every bean you can imagine: red, white, pinto, black,
Yeah.
anything. And they're split peas, and I'm like, I'm not gonna torture my kids this bad. So I passed the split peas. I'm like, this isn't that serious. But as a mom, that's like one of our main
That's
things,
yeah.
mother. How the fuck are you gonna
Exactly.
feed your kids? So I'm just like, oh my god, if we get stuck in this house for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
then my kids will probably eat the fucking plywood. I'm just like so like stressed over that alone. Like, oh
Mhm.
my god, what if we run out of water? Which of course you can always boil water. So FYI, in case people are freaking out, like we can always go back, way back in the day. We can boil water. Like there's ways to get around this, but I just think
Yeah.
it's still the lack of control that I think causes panic or
Yeah,
additional anxiety, you
for
know.
sure.
So, like I said, I definitely wanted this to be brief. Definitely just breathe seriously. Like if you can step outside, depending on your living situation, get some fresh air. Like fresh air alone does help you. Actually doing breathing exercises. Someone had tagged me on Facebook yesterday on a some meditation live thing that was going, and the lady was just literally like closing her eyes and doing a lot of deep breaths. That does
Mhm.
help. I mean, it's not for everybody, but it really does help. I noticed prior to this, if I'm stressed or overwhelmed, if I take a few deep breaths, it really relaxes me.
A stress
Drink.
ball too. It actually does
Right.
help.
There's
Yeah.
so many different things. If you have to get a stress ball, you can make your own stress balls too, actually. Go ahead and YouTube it. But a stress ball, if you need that. If you're into hobbies, spend a lot of your extra time doing crafts. I ordered a ton of yarn from Michael's today because I was just like, and I picked it up today, very brief, because I'm like, okay, in case I'm truly stuck in my home where I can't leave at all to do anything, I'll
Mhm.
just don't do my crafts. Like that alleviates my stress. Definitely, like I said, go on to Netflix or Amazon, whatever your thing is, Hulu. watch some comedy shows. If you need something to like just build up your adrenaline, watch something funny. Just something you enjoy. Rewatch a series. Like I was binge watching Desperate Housewives the other day. I may tune into some Power this afternoon. Just something that a show that you really like. I think it's really fun when you binge watch like an old TV show that you really like.
Mm-hmm.
Even clean your house. I plan to shampoo the carpets in my upstairs bedrooms upstairs.
Mm-hmm. Or if
We
like you're
have
in the
carpet.
gym, I know people are doing on the hour challenges. So like they'll do like 50 sit-ups on 1 hour, and then they wait an hour, and then they'll do 30 jumping jacks. You know what I mean? Like it's little things, but it's like it's keeping it's giving you a schedule, it's giving you a structure, but it's also getting you up and moving.
I think I may do that because, like I said, I am on my lust for Lent kick. But man, if I start working out once this thing over, I'm gonna be a bad bitch. You know, like, I'll be a real fine ass bitch by then. So I think I may take you up on that and like
Yeah.
do some exercises too. So when this lust for Lent is over and then this fucking virus is over too, who knows who I'll meet? You know? So
Right.
that may be a good thing to do. But cook something nice, but don't cook too much of your food because we do need to ration. But try a meal that you want to experiment with. I've been like stress eating. I'm not gonna lie, but I haven't really been cooking that much prior to this. But lately, I'm like, okay, let me make a point to just go in the kitchen and cook because that's something I actually enjoy cooking. So
Yeah.
that's one thing. But if you can, definitely sit out in your backyard, get some air. I mean, I can't stress enough how getting some air will help you. I'm not sure about everybody's area, but I think it's probably okay. Like even if you got in your car and maybe drove around your block or something, your neighborhood, I don't think that would.
That's totally fine. Yeah.
Right. Like I don't see that causing any problems. Like my kids today, like we drove around the subdivision because I'm like, I have to get some air. Like I
Mm-hmm.
need to drive around, like and it cleared my mind just to do that. So, whatever you can do in your area, because I know like the Sonic was open where I live at, and they were like serious about the sanitation. They even were cleaning the little red button that you have to touch after every single transaction with new, and they change their gloves after every single interaction. So if you know of a place where they're doing the drive-throughs, because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of restaurants of course are doing drive-throughs now, but if you know some place that's doing takeout or drive-through and you know for a fact they're being very sanitary, I mean, I don't see any harm in that just to get out briefly, if that's going to calm you down, just, be smart about your interactions, but everyone's going to get past this, but
They
just
are also saying to eat foods that are more well cooked. So nothing like sushi, like no raw
mm,
sushi, nothing like that. Definitely eat things that are fully cooked through.
I actually posted something. I'm going to see if I can find it. It was foods that builds your immune system. Let me see if I can find it briefly before we end this one. Let me see if I can
It's
find it.
probably going to be a lot of green vegetables, I would assume.
Oh, so I just found it. So this is something I posted the other day on Facebook. Foods that supercharge your immune system: citrus fruits, broccoli, berries, almonds, garlic, spinach, ginger, red peppers, and yogurt. So,
Okay.
hey, something else I posted. I also posted this on Facebook and on my Instagram pages. It was 10 things to do by yourself while social distancing. Number one, write that book. Number two, work out that dream body. Number three, edit that video. Four, master that instrument. Number five, finish that script. Six, learn that skill. Number seven, write that song. Eight, clean that space. Number nine, create that art. 10, find that peace. And of course, I have to throw in 11, start that podcast. Like if you quarantine with your significant other, you about to see like if you really made the right choice in a partner. Like, that's gonna be some interesting stuff. But
Sharonda's spring line is going to be shirts that say quarantine and chill. I survived coronavirus 2020.
right. It's my quarantine baby. I mean, do a maternity line or some onesies because I know a lot of y'all gonna reproduce. But have at it.
For
Whatever it
real.
takes, just be safe. So, do you have any lasting words, Alicia?
Um, I just really hope that everybody's being safe, but at the same time, check in on your grandparents, make sure
Mm,
that they're not going to stores, even if even if you have to, you're still at much less risk than they are of getting it. So, kind of, I know it feels like it might be biting the bullet, but I would rather do that than have a loved one no longer with me. So, please just reach out to your friends, make sure that everybody's doing okay, and good luck. Everybody stay healthy.
I agree. Definitely look out for your loved ones. If you have any elderly relatives, call them and see what you can do to help them. You know, if they may need you to go to that grocery store, you don't have to get too close to them to drop it off to them. I know it's heartbreaking, but it is better than having your elderly loved one be exposed to those type of germs, even if, of course, a lot of elderly people, none that I know of, are technologically savvy. So let's say maybe you can even say, hey, if you have a tool where you can order them something on Instacart or Walmart.com or something, but reach out to them
Mhm.
for sure. Reach out to your friends, even the ones who you may think are strong and they don't have any anxiety issues. You really don't know what they're dealing with behind closed doors. So go ahead and check it with a friend and just see, well, how are you holding up? We got a lot of friends who they have to be in public places. I know a lot of nurses and people that are
Mhm.
interacting with people every single day. Definitely check on them and just see how they're doing. As far as a lot of my little small business friends, look online to a lot of resources. I know there's some SBA loan situations that's out right now. Just do some research. Everything's going to be 100% okay, but reach out to a friend 100%. If you're scrambling and you're stressed, if your business has been affected, check on your other business friend. They may have some suggestions on how to stay afloat, but at the end of the day, there is someone there for you. Like, don't feel like you have to go through this situation alone, because you're not. But we all wish we were going to wish everyone the best with this situation. Wash your hands, not being facetious. Please wash your hands. It's super important. If you have to go out for any reason, I know hand sanitizer. I've actually seen a lot of places online that are saying they have hand sanitizer. So check on these different places. There's some places that are selling online. I mean, this is the times that we live in. I mean, I'm considering ordering some today just to have extra.
Mhm.
But if you do have some, make sure that you carry that with you, and just make sure you do wash your hands. Like, it sounds minor, but it can make a humongous difference. When you go in that grocery store, make sure you do clean the handle. If you can't clean it when you walk in, even if you can consider wearing gloves, I know that sounds like it may be like, oh, you may be going too far. I rather advise people to be overly cautious and not catch this than to take it lightly and put themselves at risk, or your loved ones, because you can also carry diseases and give it to someone else, and we definitely don't want that.
Mhm.
So I want to make this one brief. Like I said, I know personally my anxiety has definitely been tested during this situation. I've read several posts today from friends that have said their anxiety is being tested. One posted yesterday. Actually, three people I know yesterday posted things on Facebook reaching out asking for help because they said that the situation is messing with their anxiety. I have a lot of teacher friends too. They're sick over the fact that the school year ended abruptly, and they love their kids, they love their profession, they're worried about their students. All I can say once again is please check on one another, love one another. That's the best we can do right now. So
Absolutely.
once again, go love yourself, but this time love your friends too. I'm sorry, I always talk about self love, but we got to add everybody to this list right now. So just, love your friends, take care of yourself. If you need to speak to your doctor, like I said, I've never taken anxiety meds, but this week I'm like, let me message my doctor. And we actually did a tele appointment, which was cool. Like, I love Osner. So we were able to do an appointment over the smartphone because after they sent me their prescription, they wanted to check on me and see how I was doing. And one important thing that she mentioned, she said stress weakens your immune system. So she's like, whatever you can do to de-stress, definitely do that. So that's one thing I definitely wanted to point out too. If you can, I know it's easier said than done, but if you do feel yourself starting to get overwhelmed, try and think of something to combat that, because getting stressed too does not help your immune system. by no means. But I can go on and on about this. Like I said, I did want this to be brief. I'm actually going to publish this one today. I've actually recorded, I'm sorry, several episodes that are going to be published over the week's duration. But this one, we're going to have this one available today because I think it's super important. But if you ever need any help, just inbox me. Obviously, Alicia, all this information is available if you go to Instagram. I'll have it posted. If you go to Anchor, there's so many resources if you need someone to talk to. Like, we're here. So take care of yourself and go love yourself. And thank you, Alicia.
You are very welcome. Be safe.